And we welcome those of you just joining us. You're getting us at the beginning, heading to rotation one. Rich Burke along with Amanda Borden. Utah ranked 4th in the nation. Washington number 13, both undefeated. Head coach of the Red Rocks is Tom Farden. His 5th season as head coach and his 10th year with the Red Rocks overall. His first year coaching alone with the retirement of Megan Marsden, who is co-head coach. And if Utah wins today, it will be the 100th win of his head coaching career at Utah. Began his coaching career at age 18 in Minnesota when immediately after graduating from high school, he opened his own club. Ralph Rosso serving as one of the acting head coaches for Washington with Elise Ray Stats out on maternity leave. It's kind of a team effort. Ralph will focus on bars. Coach Megan Marsden retired. Well, she is here today. She and her husband Greg were at the point people for the Utah program for 4 decades.
Yes, we got to see him just a few weeks ago in Utah. It was the first time Greg had come back as a fan ever to watch gymnastics in that arena.
Wow. All right, here we go. Rotation one. And on vault for UW will be Kristen Hoffa. She will begin the meet and she will end the meet. The only 2 times you will see her, she'll lead off on vault and she will anchor on floor.
She is a powerful gymnast. She has a dynamic vault, but one thing they're really focusing in on for this meet is the landings. Right there, that big step. Yurchenko layup fold, the most common vault you'll see in college gymnastics, so the judges watch it over and over. She has great technique, power, distance, body position, but takes that step on the landing.
Start value of 9.95 on that. She had a 9.8 last week at ASU. Utah will begin on bars. 6 gymnasts will go. The 5 best scores count. Miley O'Keefe, the freshman from Las Vegas, will start it off. She's been in every bars lineup this year. Career high 9.925 coming last week at UCLA. As a matter of fact, last week Utah had 4 career highs on bars.
Yeah, this rotation last week was so impressive, and a lot had to do with Miley. She is beautiful on this event. She has the release move right here, up to the high bar. She has nice form, but when I talked to the coaches, they said she started the rotation out with a perfect stick, and it became contagious. So that is what they're looking for right here on the dismount. Hitting that final handstand. Double Arabian. It's a tough one to stick. She took the small hop forward, but a great routine to start.
Yep, not bad for Miley O'Keefe. The 9.725 for Kristen Hoffa. Now Madison Kopia, the senior from Calgary, Alberta. Season high 9.85 last week at ASU. Career high 9.875. Been in every vault lineup this year.
Also performing layout full. Much better control there. Still a small deduction having to hop back, but that should break into the 9.8s. She gets way back on the table. That gives her a lot of distance, but nice block straight up, spots the ground, pikes down a little bit. Usually you pike down if you feel like you don't have enough rotation, but definitely not a problem there.
Emily LeBlanc now for the Red Rocks. Holly Springs, North Carolina native. Transfer this year from the University of Maryland after the 9.825. Miley O'Keefe, career high 9.9, came with Maryland. Her season high here in her first year with the Red Rocks is also a 9.9 last week at UCLA.
Last week, they didn't count a score under a 9.9 on the uneven bars.
Go on, beat.
It's so difficult to do on these 2 events.
They counted only 4 scores below 9.9 the entire meet.
That would be why they broke into that 198 range. But if you talk to the teams, they really say we're focusing in on details. Hitting the handstands, sticking the landing, had to take a step there though.
Look at the release move for Emily LeBlanc.
When it comes to release move, you want to see that good amplitude. The entire flip was above the high bar. Very nice.
9-8 for Kopiak, and now Amara Cunningham. So she wears the same pair of crazy-colored spandex at the last practice before every meet. All those superstitions.
Hey, you know,
were you superstitious?
I did have a few superstitions. One of them being how I warmed up. But they say that's good for the mental consistency, which is key in this sport. Another strong vault there. This team has so much potential on this event. Beautiful technique in the air, just these small deductions on the landings, but I talk about it week after week. You're counting 5 scores. If you can eliminate a step or a hop on every single landing, that's a half a point just on one event.
9.875 for Emily LeBlanc. And now Krista Issa, who'll be the lone all-arounder for the Red Rocks today. Matched her career high with a 9.925 on bars last week at UCLA. It's the 3rd time this year that she's posted that number. Her second appearance as an all-arounder, scored a 39.6.
Nice release move. Lots of swing, nice control though on that cast handstand out. And a transition down to the low bar. All the elements wrapped into her routine. The releases, hitting those vertical handstands, perfect form. Combination, difficult, and fighting for it. She'll get a deduction for that off-balance drop of her chest, but at this point in the season, you gotta go for the landing. You gotta go for that stick.
A 9.8 for Amara Cunningham. Ebony Roberson now has done all-around in every meet this year. Her best score being a 39.65 a couple of weeks ago at home against Arizona. Highest scoring vault came in week 1. 9.875 at Michigan.
I've seen a lot of great vault from her this season. She likes that one.
So do her teammates.
She is a tiny thing, but lots of power. Look how high she gets right there. One thing when I talked to the coaches, and they said, we know how to land vaults, but sometimes we rush out of them too quick. So you can see she doesn't bend her knees and stay down. And so instead of going for the stick, they take that hop back, and instantly it's at least a 1/10 deduction.
9.725 for Crystal Issa, and now Abby Paulson in her first routine since last Sunday when she secured the win with that perfect 10 on beam at a time when her team really needed her at UCLA.
Abby is a beautiful gymnast. She was in the elite program for years, so she came in with a lot of great skills, but like many athletes learn, it's about what skills you can do perfect when you're a collegiate gymnast. She's done a great job transitioning. Giant fold to a clean double tuck, step back.
Not quite the stick rally they had 7 days ago at Pauley. But not bad indeed for Paulson.
You know, sometimes they start putting pressure on trying to repeat those great moments, and just let it happen. They practice hard, just do what you practice every day.
9.85 for Roberson, now Geneva Thompson. Career high 9.925 on vault last week at ASU. Working her way back to competing in at least 3 events. Began the year battling a calf strain. We'll also see her on bars. And we welcome those of you just joining us, Utah and Washington here in Seattle, the 2 lone undefeated teams in the Pac-12. And this is Geneva Thompson's vault.
Best vault of the rotation by far, holding on there on that landing. The vault went straight up off the table and locked in on a great landing.
Well done by the junior out of Puyallup, Washington. Local product. Red Rocks ranked number 4 with the national qualifying score rankings out this week. And Washington, which has had a couple of great upsets, UCLA and Cal, they are ranked number 13. Here is Missy Reinstadler. Has been 5th in every bars lineup this year. Season high 9.925. She has fantastic lines.
Beautiful form all the way to her toe point. High flying Jaeger, wow. Really had to extend to catch that. Holding that handstand on the low bar. twisting double back, and there's the landing that Utah was looking for. They've had great routines so far in this rotation, but nobody has stuck the landing. She winds up, lots of speed, full twisting double back, but you can see her eyes lock in on the mat. Arms came out strong, and she stayed down on it.
Yeah, I told you she had beautiful lines, and Missy Reinstadler also sticks the landing. And now, after the 9.875 by Geneva Thompson, the best vault so far for UW, here's Maya Washington.
This is a lineup change because Brenna Brooks, who was in the anchor spot last week at ASU, tweaked her elbow. Difficult vault, those forward landing.
And as a senior, this is the first time she has competed on vault as a collegian. The good news is nobody missed before her.
That's right. When you count 5 scores, you get to drop that one. She came onto the table just too high, didn't get enough block. And in that forward landing position, you can't see the floor, so she actually opened up thinking she was higher than she was, and unfortunately, that's 5/10 of a deduction.
We'll look for more from her. She'll be doing the all-around for the first time in her 4-year career. 9.925 for Reinstadler, best score here in this first rotation. Here is Kim Tesson, the senior from Orem, Utah, has anchored every bars lineup this year. Career high 9.975 3 weeks ago at Cal.
She's ranked 8th on this event for a reason. She is dynamic, big pike Jaeger, showing off her strength with those straight body casts. Aggressive transition down to the low bar.
Winding up for a dismount.
Just a small step at that right foot, but a nice job by the back part of that Utah lineup on bars.
So we've got one rotation in the books. Another look here at Tesson.
You can see she has so much power. Just that little step there on the right foot.
So one rotation in the books. And we've got 3 to go. Lots of fun left here from Alaska Airlines Arena in Seattle. Stay with us.
Home of the Utah Utes.
Pac-12 Women's Gymnastics is brought to you by State Farm. Talk to an agent today. Well, back here in Seattle, both teams hit 49 in the first rotation. 49-3 for Utah, 49-05 for Washington. Washington looking for yet another upset as they knocked off Cal. They also knocked out UCLA. And then now they're facing the number 14 in the country. And they will be heading to the bars, and the Red Rocks will be heading to the vaults.
Utah did a nice job working through that bar rotation. It wasn't as strong as it was last week, but they're heading to a great event. Their key on vault is going to be to find the power, but stick those landings. And for Washington, it was a solid start. They actually started with the 49.05 on vault. That's the same score they got against ASU last week, so I wouldn't put it past for them to step it up next on bars.
Let's take a look at the highlights in rotation 1 and Geneva Thompson and her vault for UW.
Definitely a highlight of the rotation. She has the technique and a strong position in the air, but today she opened up and stayed down on that landing. That's exactly what the coaches were talking about. They said, we're looking at holding the landing position. Don't rush out of it. Good vault for her.
And the best score in the first rotation, Missy Reinstadler on bars for Utah.
Utah had some great routines, but they were stepping on the dismounts. Missy is always known for her beautiful form and her great lines. She put it all together in this routine and finished up right here with the full twisting double back. And she was the only one that nailed the landing, which is why it was the best score of the rotation.
So well done for Reinstadler. Second rotation coming up as the Gym Dogs head to the bars and the Red Rocks to the vault. Utah with a 49-3 on bars and Washington 49.05 on vaults. And now the Gym Dogs will head to the bars and Utah to the vault, and Sydney Solosky will start matters off her first appearance.
Utah vault, Sydney Solosky.
We'll also see her on floor. She's led off on vault and anchored on floor in every meet. Her best score on vault, 9.875 in week 4 at Arizona.
I just saw her warm up vault. She was perfect on the landing. Oh, a little short there. She had nice distance, was a little forward with her chest on the landing. Had to pike down just a little bit. It's almost like she turned a hair early off the table, so that kind of slowed her rotation down just a little.
4 years on Canadian national teams. And now Michaela Nelson, the senior from Montgomery Village, Maryland. She's coming off meniscus surgery. She posted a 9.825 last week at ASU. Her career high, 9.9.
Well, Washington last week had a season high on the uneven bars, and when I had a chance to talk to the coaches, I said, what was it? They said, we're aggressive, and that's the goal again here in this rotation. But they also played some contests, and this was one of them. Hitting that handstand right after they mount the bars. Nice start.
You want to get that handstand within 10 degrees of the top, right?
Well, 10 degrees is going to be a deduction. They want to go for a perfect vertical line. She put both handstands right on top and finishing strong combination. Giant goal, double top. There was really only one major deduction in that routine, and it was as she transitioned down to the low bar. They specifically practiced what they called the mount handstand right there. Beautiful to the top. She went right into the Jaeger, had good distance, but watch when she catches right there. She had to bend her arms a little bit, so that'll be a small deduction. Everything else definitely started this rotation with what the coaches said they wanted, aggressive work.
And a hug from Bailey Rowe. Bailey working with the bars. Bailey, a former Utah gymnast. Matter of fact, 3 years ago, Bailey clinched the meet at home against Utah with a floor exercise. And now she's coaching for UW. Here's Missy Reinstadler, 9.925 on bars.
Strong Yurchenko layout full. She did a nice job of lifting her chest out into the landing, so that kept her hips open and flat. So no deduction in the air, just that hop back on the landing. With only 3 weeks left between this meet and the Pac-12 championship, both teams really need to focus in on these landings, save some points.
9.85 for Nelson, and now Maya Washington. 3 times this year, she's recorded her season high of 9.85, including last week at ASU. Now, she'd never competed on vault as a collegiate until she fell anchoring the vault last time. How does that affect your next routine?
Unfortunately, gymnastics is so mental, but you know, as a young girl, you learn. It's not over till it's over, and for Maya, she has more than one event, and this event is an important role for her. She's very dynamic. You saw that high-flying release, aggressive swing to the handstands, and finishing full twisting double back.
You know, part of it may be that expectations for her on vault were pretty low. She was probably able to just wash it out of her mind.
That's right. It was kind of a filled-in spot for an athlete that had that injured elbow. But it's still a challenge, and she did a nice job recovering.
9.8 for Reinstadler. Here's Cammie Hall, the sophomore from Gainesville, Florida. Don't blink. This is the only time you'll see her today. Vault specialist on second in every lineup this year.
In a difficult 1.5 twist. Taking that step forward, but that was a smart decision because last week she did that vault, came up a little bit short, and when you come up short on those forward landings, they're very hard to save. She was able to stay on her feet last week, but she took 2 big steps back, so that vault starts from a 10.0.
Because of the blind landing?
Yes, absolutely.
Carly Dockendorf, assistant coach for Utah. You saw her there. She's a former gymnast at Washington. So each team with an assistant coach that's a former athlete for the other team. 9.9 for Washington. And now Brenna Brooks has been in every bars lineup this year. Last week, master season high at 9.85 at ASU. Her father, Bain, played baseball for the University of Oklahoma.
Big release. Combination work with those clear hip circles. Takes a lot of power and strength. From this angle, you can see she has a little bit of leg separation, but the judges sit on the side. They don't always get to see what we see. That is an aggressive landing.
High fives all around.
Combination giant full right on top there, but watch, she opens up right there. You see her extend her body out of that tuck position. That way, she is in the right position to be on top of the landing.
The sophomore from Allen, Texas. 9.85 for Cammie Hall. And now Crystal Issa. We thought she was going to be doing the all-around. It turns out she will not do a floor exercise, so 3 routines for her today.
Nice clean vault. Last week she scored a 9.8. That should be pretty close as well. She has not as much height and distance, but what she has is control. So she does take that small step back, but her landing looks in control.
Crystal Issa of Utah. 9.875 for Brenna Brooks. Here's Geneva Thompson. She had a 9.875 on vault. This last time we'll see her today. Last week at ASU matched her career high with a 9.9. We'll see how she can follow it up. Does it help to smile beforehand?
You know, she always is kind of singing before she starts. Every athlete has a different style. Ultimately, you want to stay calm in your mind, take a deep breath. Now she's pumping herself up. I actually had to see a sports psychologist to help me work on my pre-competition run-through. And for me, I did a lot of talking to myself. It kept me kind of out of worrying about all the things I didn't have control over and just get my body into that zone. Aggressive there. Nice fight on that cast handstand. You kind of saw her lower back arch a little bit. Great routine so far.
Yes.
Wow, great energy in here. Anytime a Washington athlete sticks, the crowd gets on their feet and they say stick with 3 claps. This was a phenomenal routine. Watch this right here, though. She swings aggressive to this handstand, and then look at that fight. Her head is pulled through. Her lower back started to arch, but you practice to be able to save that moment. Thank you.
Her career high in 9.9. Matched it last week. Will she do even better? Crystal Issa, a 9.775. Now Alexia Birch. Often does a Yurchenko 1.5. 10-0 start value. Blind landing. By 9.95 earlier this year. There it is.
I have watched her do that vault all year with such great control. She looked a little off balance leaning to the left, but so impressive. Looks over that right shoulder. That helps her spot the ground. Then you can tell, do you need to put your feet in front or behind you to make sure that you're on top of the landing?
Have to have incredible awareness of where you are in relation to the ground, don't you?
Absolutely. The best thing that you can have is body awareness as well as visual awareness. If you can see where you're at in the air, that helps too.
Thompson matched her career high again with a 9.9. Now, Ebony Roberson had a 9.85 on vault. 3 weeks ago at Stanford on bars. Guarded her career high at 9.9. 29 for 29 in routines this year. She was doing a little dancing and singing to herself as well.
Staying relaxed, having fun. Pops those hands right off the top. Nice quick-paced Jaeger. Connected down to the low bar.
Another one.
Huge double layout, way above the bar, legs glued together. But I don't just say wow because it's 0 deductions. I mean, it's so impressive when these athletes put these routines all together and then finish with that exclamation point.
Great one by Ebony Roberson. 9.875 for Alexia Birch. And now Kim Tessin, who also has a Yurchenko 1.5 in her arsenal with a 10-0 start value.
So impressive. You can tell right when she leaves the table, it goes straight up off the table. That gives her that control right there, straight up, nice body position, spots the ground, and her shoulders and hips are straight up over her feet, so she doesn't have to step either direction and just finishes.
Wow, very nice for Kim Tessin, the senior from Orem, Utah. Her nickname is Kim Possible, and she gets a 9.925. .985 for Roberson. Now Madison Kopiak, our final gymnast here in the second rotation. She had a 9.8 on vault. On bars, has a new dismount this season. Season high of 9.925 came in week 3 in the Huskies' surprising win over Cal. She's done a different routine on bars all 4 years as a Husky.
I love that when college gymnasts continue to learn skills. I know for me that was probably one of my favorite parts about gymnastics was perfection and learning new tricks. This is the new skill this year, double layout.
Nice. Great bar set for the Gym Dogs. They trail by 0.25 heading into this rotation. We'll see if they gain some ground. Madison Kopiak, another stick for the Gym Dogs. 2 rotations down and 2 to go. Check it out. Washington on bars of 49.425, and that is their season high. They've had a 49.25 last week at ASU, so consecutive weeks they've had their season high. And we're joined by Coach Chad Wieston. Is something contagious about that?
Oh man, it's super exciting. We've been challenging really hard all week long to step up, to kind of get to the next level, and they're performing great tonight.
Well, 2 weeks in a row, we've seen the bar team step up. How impressive was that rotation, and how proud are you of those dismounts?
Oh, so proud. We've really been focused on just holding those landings, and they did it tonight.
Well, next is the balance beam. That's also a great event for you guys. A few weeks ago, Ebony Roberson put up a perfect 10. But the key to some of these spoilers for you guys have been details. What's been the focus on the balance beam for this week?
Yeah, just staying present, just one skill at a time, taking it nice and easy.
Are we hoping to see some more perfect 10s today?
We would love them.
Awesome.
All right. Good luck.
All right, thank you. Go Dogs.
That's Chad Wiest, one of the coaches for UW. Remember, head coach Elise Ray Stats out on maternity leave. And wow, so far so good for Washington. They trail by 0.05 to Utah through 2 rotations. Hanging tough, looking for another upset. They've already beaten Cal and UCLA. The Red Rocks have other things in mind. Third rotation is coming up. 2 rotations down and 2 to go. Rich Burke along with Olympic gold medalist Amanda Borden. And look at how Washington has closed the gap to 0.05. Hanging tough with the number 4 team in the country. Utah, for sure, a national title contender. And let's take a look at the highlights in the second rotation. And Kim Tessin tied for the win on vault.
Utah had some great vaults, but they were a little off on their landings. However, Kim Tessin, the Yurchenko 1.5 twist, the most difficult vault we're seeing in this competition, and she nailed the landing. Gave her that 9.925, and a great way to finish that rotation. They really need to keep that energy as they head to the floor exercise next.
And for Washington on bars, Madison Kopiak had a great routine, a 9.9.
She was in the anchor position, but it was actually the third 9.9 of the rotation. They just put up a season high on this event. Impressive start to finish. They hit the handstands, they had great release moves, and they nailed their landings.
49.425. Last week they had their previous high 49.25. And Kopiak, there she is. She anchored things, had that great routine to get the job done for the Huskies. Well, there's something in the air here at Alaska Airlines Arena when this team goes to work. And they had that great upset of Cal last month.
Well, they're heading the balance beam, which is a fantastic event for them. Something that I've watched them not get rattled on. When the pressure's on, their beam team just comes through.
Huskies have traditionally been strong on beam. Elise Ray Stantz, an excellent beam coach. She's out on maternity leave. They spent a lot of time on it, do things in practice to put pressure on themselves. And Bailey Rowe, former Utah gymnast, and we told you that 3 years ago she had an excellent floor exercise to secure a win against UCLA. So it's not the first time it's come down to the final routine for the Gym Dogs to get a win against UCLA. Abby Paulson last week, 3 years ago, Bailey Rowe.
Hey, what a great accomplishment when you can pull it out when your team needs you the most.
And now Brenna Brooks, been in every beam lineup this year. Last week matching her season high with a 9.85 at ASU.
Aggressive combination right here at the top of their team, the kick over front back handspring. You see a lot of athletes performing the front to back elements for their tumbling requirement. She did a great job keeping that movement fluid. There cannot be any break or pause or they will not get credit for that combination.
Says that she eats waffles on the morning of her competitions. Did you have a superstition like that?
I cannot remember a food superstition, but I like to always tape my feet the same way, tape my hands the same way. Hey, whatever makes you feel good, that's half the battle when it comes to competition. Front aerial to the feet jump. She looked a little lean to the left, but she did a nice job covering the balance checkup. And finishes right here, gainer full. Holding that landing.
Brooks had a 9.875 on bars. Another solid routine for the sophomore from Texas. Abby Paulson will start things off for the Red Rocks on floor. 3 freshmen in that lineup. The Red Rocks are without 3 all-arounders from last year, graduating Kari Lee and McKenna Merrill Giles. And, of course, Michaela Skinner is deferred her senior year in hopes of competing in Tokyo. She was an alternate for the gold medal winners in Rio.
But they've added 4 freshmen, only 3 competing, and they have been very impressive, including Abby. They bring a lot of international experience, and so that has made them love competition. I think one of the biggest challenge when you move into collegiate gymnastics is feeling pressure to perform for your team. Abby, very competitive. And a perfect double pike to start her routine.
Season high here in her freshman year, a 9.9 in week 3. She's bounced between first and third in the order. How does that change things?
You know, when I talked to the Utah coaches mid-season, they said we're still trying to figure out our lineups. The goal is you want to find a leadoff person that sets the tone for the event. Something that you know can go out and hit a routine, but you want to make score to start the rotation and then build from there. And that's exactly why Abby is in this position. She's a fierce competitor. She doesn't want to just go out and hit. She wants to go out and get a 9.95. You'll see every athlete flash the U in their routine. And in front of their home crowd of 15,000 people, they go wild every time.
Average attendance for the Red Rocks, 15,178.
Beautiful combination work there to finish the routine.
Artfully done by Abby Paulson.
We talk about having Utah fans, but they also travel well. They're here in the stands chanting.
That's fantastic. 9.875 for Brooks. And now Maya Washington competed her first ever collegiate vault. That came in her senior season today. She fell on that, but then had a 9.9 on bars. She's had 5 consecutive solid beam routines. Her high 9.875 last week.
Maya's always been a great performer. We'll see that in her floor routine, but she brings that to the balance beam. She kind of has a quick pace, talks herself through this routine. Starting right out with that handspring layout step out and a smile on her face. And some fans. Solid side aerial, working right out of it.
Every once in a while, one of the gymnasts will give the camera a wink. Did you ever wink at the people at home?
You know, I don't remember seeing the cameras. I tried to work the judges. That was who I was trying to impress for the score.
Did you wink at the judges?
Hey, yeah, if that's what it takes, I'll win.
Shakespeare said all the world's a stage. Valerie Condos Field said that's a 4-inch stage up there. And Maya Washington performing well on stage.
Great routine for Maya on the balance beam. Half the battle on balance beam is overcoming the mental. So when you can move in and out of your skills like it's a performance, you think less and you just let your body do what it's done for years. And that's exactly kind of the rhythm and style that Maya has on the beam.
Gymnasts talk about making friends with the beam, and clearly she has. 9.85 for Abby Paulson, and now Jillian Hoffman.
Jillian, one of the star freshmen on this team, and this is an outstanding event for her. She has a huge opening tumbling pass. Oh, double layout. She was almost just a little too bouncy on the landing. I think had she bent her legs, she would have been fine.
Now that's back-to-back for her. She fell on her final tumbling pass last week at UCLA. That was after 3 consecutive 9.85s in her previous events.
In that first tumbling pass, it looked like she had a 4-inch landing mat and a squish mat, probably trying to soften the landing a little bit, but I wonder if that almost gave her too much bounce on the landing. Last week, that was the pass she made a mistake on. She came up short on the front layout. So next week, put those two routines together and see that disappointment on her face. But watch when she lands. I mean, a double layout's a very difficult skill. 2 flips in that extended position. Had she just bent her knees a little bit, I think she would have been fine, but she was stiff and the mat was bouncy, so it kind of launched her forward. Unfortunately, it's a major deduction, and that'll be the routine they want to get rid of.
Yeah, clearly not happy after consecutive misses on floor. 9.925 for Maya Washington. And now Michaela Nelson. 9.925 for Maya Washington. That is her career high. Let's see how Nelson can follow matters up here.
Watch this mount. Steps onto the board. She's going to do a back handspring. Back to the beam.
Oh, my.
That's a skill I never tried, and I'm not sure if my coach asked me if I would have attempted it. You're going head first into that balance beam. Nice work. She looked a little crooked in the middle of that pass, but somehow came up perfect on the landing. Clean combination with that split 3/4. See a variety of skills on the balance beam. Every gymnast is required the tumbling elements and the leaping and jumping elements, along with the full turn and, of course, getting on the beam and off the beam. but it's the one event you see a variety of different styles and combinations.
Very good landing for Washington.
When I saw this team at Arizona State, I said, they just stay focused on themselves and the small things they can do to improve, and that's details like this. When it comes to balance beam, when you're a good beam team, you know you can hit the routine, but can you stick the landing and take your 9/8s up to those 9/9s on balance beam? We talk about it being the make or break event, but for Washington, it seems to be the event where they're making the biggest ground.
A 9-1 for Hoffman, so Randall, O'Keefe, Solosky, and Reinstadler will have the pressure on them. Remember, your 5 best scores count, so they can cross out the 9-1 by Hoffman if these 4 hit their routines. And the way Washington is going, they're going to need to, or they might get upset.
Well, it was only a .05 separating these two teams at the halfway mark.
Adrian Randall won a Pac-12 Specialist of the Week award earlier this year. Came in week 5. Been in all but one floor lineup this year. Season best 9-9 last week at UCLA.
Opening with the double tuck. Adrian also has a full in. I've seen her practicing it in the warm-ups, but they have not debuted it in competition yet.
When is that decision made?
Well, you know, I think at this point they're really looking at hitting 6 for 6 on this event. Unfortunately, it's not going to happen today because they already had that mistake in the lineup. But they need to gain some confidence on this event. Still a great routine because she ends with a double pike. There's still a lot of difficulty in this routine.
If there was a miss before you, do you take fewer chances the next 4 gymnasts?
Well, you know, I think that's definitely a coach's call. When it comes to this routine, she's clean, she's solid, and that's her job in the middle of this rotation. Strong combination to finish it up.
Flashing the U at the end. Adrian Randall.
So nice job recovering the energy for this team. That position when somebody's fallen can be challenging.
That pressure's on, and Randall came through. The next beam routine from Madison Kopiak. Solid meet so far. This will be the final time we'll see her. She had a 9.8 on vault and 9.9 on bars. Had a 9.925 a couple of weeks ago at home against Arizona. Creative way to enter the stage. This after the 9.9 by Michaela Nelson.
They have a great rotation going on the balance beam. Holding on there.
Saved by Kopiak. A couple of weeks ago, they had a 49.475 on beam at home against Arizona.
Nice combination with the switch half across the beam. Combination side aerial, tuck full twist. She had that balance check early on the tumbling series, but she covered it up, so it should be a small deduction and another great score.
A great Sunday afternoon for Madison Kopiak, the senior from Calgary, Alberta. 9.875 for Adrian Randall.
And now on the floor for Utah, Miley O'Keefe.
And here is Miley O'Keefe, the freshman from Las Vegas. First time in 3 weeks she's been in the floor liner.
Clean double pike to start the routine.
She's hit all 25 routines in her career, and they needed to hit this one.
Well, Miley was an incredible elite gymnast. I watched her grow up. So fun to watch these athletes transition into a college career, and it's so different. I mentioned on the uneven bars, Miley's a great example of the fact that she has a lot of tricks and a lot of skills, but when it comes to your collegiate routine, you got to put together the routine that's going to score the best. But what she brings is her artistry, and her competitiveness already as a freshman is just a great future for this Utah team.
Freshman comes through, Miley O'Keefe.
So fun to watch. This last tumbling pass combination, back 1.5 to front layout, holding that clean landing there and dancing right out of it.
9.925 for Madison Kopiak on beam. And that matches her season high now. Hannah Vandenpoel looking to keep things rolling for the Gym Dogs. This is her only routine of the day. She's dealt with a stress fracture in her back that cost her freshman season last year. This year's only been on beam. Last 2 weeks, posted a high of 9.9.
For an aerial, kick over front combination to that handspring.
Like Reinstatler of Utah, she has great lines.
She does. That beautiful toe point really stands out on the balance beam. She looked a little off balance on that lead pass, mostly because her arms looked a little loose in the air. But what makes a great balance beam worker is something that doesn't overreact when they're a little off. They kind of cover up the mistake. Element right here, front aerial, but she balances on the one leg. Beautiful. And dismounting. That gainer pull.
Anna Vandenpoel. And midway through this third rotation, even with Utah dropping the 9-1, the Gym Dogs have the lead. Sydney Solosky now. Solosky
and now on the
7.5 on vaults. She was an All-American last year on floor as a freshman. The last 4 weeks, she's recorded 4 consecutive scores of 9.9 or higher as the floor anchor. See, Reinstatler will anchor this time.
Well, this is a fun routine. Watch this first tumbling pass.
Very powerful.
Double layout and confident landing there at the end.
The air she got is incredible.
And the speed, the 2 flips go so fast. This music matches her personality.
Clapping along with her teammates. They're doing the routine with her. Love that in college.
Always so impressive. They all know all their routines. But you can remember, they practice this in the gym over and over and over. crushes this event. And I think she gets into the floor routines with as much energy as the team.
One of the three co-captains, Sydney Solosky.
Look at this double layout. So quick off the floor. She gets those arms back, really generates great rotation, and that gives her the ability to land with her chest upright.
A 9-9 for Hannah Vandenkolk. And now Ebony Roberson. And a great beam set again for UW. And Roberson, a couple of weeks ago at home against Arizona, notched a perfect 10. That was her last appearance at home. How will she follow it up?
Well, pressure is off. Impressive rotation. They have had 4 scores, 9-9 or better. So an incredible rotation for Washington. I'm pretty sure that's already a season high on the balance beam. Dynamic lead pass there, that jump, switch jump. Stepping in for her tumbling series. She does 2 layout step outs connected.
She clearly likes performing as well.
And locked in.
Wow.
Dismount. She got a step.
Hard to find any deductions there.
You know what? Yesterday, I watched Kyla Ross and felt like it was perfect routine. I'm really honest about when I think it's perfect. I'm going to have to say this should be a 10.0 for Ebony Roberson. Confident landing on her tumbling. Dismounts way above the beam, opens those arms out, and held that landing.
Wow, Roberson following up the perfect 10 2 weeks ago at home against Arizona. A hug from Bailey Rowe. Bailey coaching beam with Elise Ray Stats out on maternity leave. They're putting 10-0 up on the board. It's a second consecutive perfect 10 at home on beam for Ebony Roberson.
Good for her. You know, last week I felt like she was almost trying too hard to repeat. She settled in and just did the beam routine she's capable of.
Back-to-back beam routines at home. First 2 weeks ago, and now again for Ebony Roberson. And now here is Missy Reinstadler, a late entry into the floor lineup. Third time competing on floor this year. Her best was a 9.475. They need her to come through with the miss earlier.
And Missy had off-season ankle surgery. And so she just kind of started slow on this event, but she is absolutely beautiful. She kind of has that fierce choreography and then shows off her stunning toe point and flexibility on the lead pass.
Looking to follow up the 9.95 by Sydney Solosky.
There it is. That's the pass that she's had some struggles on. Big smile. That is a big moment for Missy. Her team needed her. She has struggled on this event a little bit this year, and she just came through.
Yes, she did. 9.275, 9.475 her 2 previous scores. And she, too, having a great meet. But Ebony Roberson, another perfect 10 on beam at home for the Gym Dogs. Her second in her last 2 home routines. A perfect 10. Both teams solid in the third rotation, and Washington, a season high 49.65 on beam. They moved ahead by .05. We're joined by the head coach of the Red Rocks, Tom Farden. And Tom, what a great moment for Missy Reinstadler, a late sub into that floor lineup, and she needed a great routine and a 9.975.
It was a beautiful set, really spectacular, and Missy has worked hard on that. And you know, she's got such grace and artistry out there, so I wasn't surprised that she was rewarded with that big score.
Well, this team, Tom, is a young team, but how proud are you of your upperclassmen and your team captains in that last rotation?
Oh, they really showed a lot of poise, and you know, wanted to make sure that we're staying in this thing, and it's a heated meet going down to this last rotation again.
Well, you've been in this position before where you have to step it up on the balance beam, and you have an incredible team, but what are you going to tell them before they take this final event?
You know, the thing that we've got to do is be ourselves, who we are, and then the other thing, especially on balance beam, it's the event that I think you've got to be the most aggressive and determined.
Well, this team has definitely done that. Last week, it was a perfect 10 for Abby Paulson. What was that moment like to win the meet?
It was really special, and our athletes put a lot of hard work into the balance beam, and then for Abby, you know, she's from Minnesota, so she might have a little ice in her veins.
Well, it worked last week against UCLA where you guys won it in this final rotation. Good luck.
Thank you.
All right. Good luck. All right, that's Tom Farden, head coach of the Red Rocks. They're going to head to the beam where they're ranked 3rd in the country. We'll take a close look at their beam set from last week and what they've done this year when we come back here to Seattle after this. One rotation to go, and in a season of upsets for Washington, this would be the biggest. They have the lead by .05, but Utah is heading to the beam where they have been so good this year. 49.775 last week, highest team score in the nation this season. Look at that average, 3rd in the country at 49.6 3 times this year, first time in school history.
Well, this team has been strong top to bottom when it comes to the balance beam. They have an incredible leadoff in Emily LeBlanc, but Adrienne Randall is a perfect example of having great skills. She showcases unique elements, one that catches the eye of the crowd like this, a flip twisting swing down. And when I talked to the assistant coach, Carly Dockendorf, she coaches this event. I said, what makes you a great beam worker? She said, number 1, you gotta love doing beam. Number 2, you gotta be confident. And number 3, you have to have the right skill set. Well, that's where Crystal Issa comes into it. She has the skills that catch your eye, the difficult mount, the triple series, not required, but 2 layout step outs connected. And then she finishes with a beautiful dismount. Her key, go big or go home on the balance beam, and it has worked so far.
And she usually goes big.
And Abby Paulson, last week she earned a perfect 10, but Abby has it all in this event. The difficulty like that, the side aerial layup step out. She has the artistry and she has gorgeous execution. Put it together and get a perfect 10 as a freshman.
Utah needing a big rotation again if they're going to escape Seattle with a victory, because Washington is red hot and in search of another upset after having already knocked off Cal and UCLA this year, and they lead by .05 as we head to the final rotation.
This concludes our touch period.
Emily LeBlanc will be on beam for the Red Rocks to start things off. She's led off every beam lineup this year. A career high 9.9 coming in week 3.
The leadoff on balance beam, always so important. Somebody that needs to be confident and consistent.
Meanwhile, Washington, they know what's at stake here. They know they have a chance for another upset. How do you handle that kind of pressure?
Well, you know what? Both of these teams have done a great job this year, not worrying about the other team. Just stay into what you can do. And both of these teams have won it on the final event, final routine. We talked about earlier, Kristen Hoffa is the anchor of the Washington forward lineup. She's incredible at this event. She's got energy and she knows how to put it together when her team needs her. So both of these teams have been in this position before. The question is, do they know how close it is? Do the athletes know how close it is?
When you were in college, did you know?
Well, you know what?
It was a different format, right?
I never like to look at the scoreboard, period, because you can't really control the scores or what the other team is doing. So just stay focused on what you can do.
Washington trail by .05. After the second rotation, they lead by .05. After the third rotation, Carly Dockendorf, the assistant coaches for Utah Red Rocks, former UW gymnast. Dockendorf competed at Washington 2002-2005, All-American gymnast and pole vaulter.
And now coaches one of the most challenging events. Aggressive way to start the routine. Nice leap pass. Back handspring layout, step out. Locked in that lunge position, and then moving right out into the next element. Nice adjustment of her feet as she landed that front aerial. The balance being only 4 inches wide. Your feet are not going to land on it perfect every time. I think that's what makes it so amazing. Obviously, having done it myself, the goal is that when you're not perfect, you still fake it enough where the judges can't find any deductions.
That's the art of it, isn't it?
Oh, that is.
Or part of the art of it.
Small step there, but a great start for this rotation.
Emily LeBlanc gets it off on the right foot for the Red Rocks. Brenna Brooks will start matters off on floor for Washington. She knows what's at stake. Looking to bounce back from a fall last week. Her first miss of the year on floor a couple of weeks ago, a career high 9.85 at home against Arizona.
She has a fun routine. This unique first tumbling pass. Handspring double front.
That is unique. Blind.
Yeah. She came up short at Arizona State on that pass. She was a little bit short there, but was able to step back and save it. Comes right back to that second tumbling pass. Brenna didn't compete in the vault lineup today because she tweaked her elbow last week, so it's good that she's been able to stay in the other events. Performs to some fun 90s music. This is always my favorite event, just because you can select music that kind of showcases your personality. When I ask the coaches about her, they say she is so fun. And you can see that in her choreography as well.
Yeah, very much so. She said that she wants to work in the medical field.
Much better start than last week at Arizona State. This first pass, so unique, you don't see it very often. Double front. Watch when she opens, though, she is right by that line. So good thing she did take a step backwards instead of forwards. Saved herself 1/10 by not going out of bounds there.
9.825 for Emily LeBlanc. And now Alexia Birch. The last gymnast, Kristen Hoffa for UW, and Abby Paulson for Utah. They've each had a meet where it came down to their routine this year on whether their team would win. And we're heading toward that again.
We've had some fun meets that came right down the wire for Washington last week. They tied Arizona State.
Yeah,
Very
rare
rarely
tie.
do you see that.
UW's second highest score this year. Their highest is 197.225, and their upset of Cal in week 3 here at home.
Nice skills so far throughout Alexia's routine. She has really grown to love the balance beam. She has nice execution, but it's her presentation really draws me in.
One-time Nevada State beam champion, 2016.
Flashing the U.
Looking for a stick. Little off balance. So those deductions they leave open for the judges to decide. She didn't take a full step, but she definitely didn't stay down on that landing.
9.85 for Brooks on floor after she'd had a pair of 9.875s on bars and beam. And now here is Megan Rattan. Only time we'll see her today. She wasn't in any lineup last week. A couple of weeks ago, only on floor. Had a career high 9.85. Sophomore from Calgary, Alberta.
Opening with the 2.5 twist. Megan has worked really hard on this event, fighting to make it in the lineup this year. Nice combination work there to the jump.
So far, so good.
Roberson right there, coaching her through to this final pass. Ebony's a great leader for this team. She contributes that energy and positivity and wants it so bad for this team. And a big smile.
That's met with good reason. Another great routine for the Gym Dogs, in search of what would be a remarkable upset of Utah.
Well, we've watched it a few times this year.
And it's not like Utah's given this to them.
No, both teams fighting through, but what great energy right here. You know, earlier in the season when I talked to the Washington team, they just kept saying we're focusing on these small things every week. Landings, handstands, performance, whatever area they felt like they could really make up little points, and it's worked.
9.85 for Alexia Birch. And now Miley O'Keefe. 4 straight routines at 9.9 or better. Career high 9.975 coming in this Florida State 2 weeks ago.
We talked on the floor exercise, the upperclassmen coming through, but very impressive here in the balance beam. They have 2 freshmen, 2 sophomore, and 2 juniors. So the underclassmen have a big role on this event. The good news is they're not graduating anybody out of their beam lineup, so beautiful leap pass, overextending past the 180 degrees required on the leaps.
Our team score is the same. Each team through 2 gymnasts has a 9.825 and a 9.85. Washington leads by 0.05 midway through the last rotation.
This is a beautiful event for Miley. She has unique elements. Finishing combination side aerial to the full twist, holding on. She has had 4 straight routines of 9.9 or better, and that was a clean one.
Could be 5.
She does a cat leap into the side aerial. Watch her first foot, a little off center, but knows exactly what to do to adjust.
Incredible foot strength.
And then fights for that landing. You have to remember, she's a freshman. So the experience that she's gaining week after week, fighting for every single 10th, incredible.
9.825 for Megan Rattan. Now Mara Cunningham had a career high in week 2 at 9.925. After also posting the career high in vault that week. Powerful tumbler, needs to develop control. Subbed in for Brenna Brooks in week 1 and hasn't left the lineup since.
She loves this event. She loves to feed off of her teammates and the crowd, and there is a lot of energy in here today. Combination front through the double tuck. That had great control on the landing.
teammates at Northwestern University. Mom played softball, Dad played baseball.
Last week, Washington had that mistake in the first routine, and then Amara stepped out of bounds. So much better job.
Final tumbling pass.
She opened with that combination and then finished with the dynamic double pike right there. And a big smile right to her teammates.
And you can see why. She had 9-8 on fall. We'll wait for a score on floor. That was a good one for Amara Cunningham. 9-9 for Miley O'Keefe. That's her 5th consecutive routine. Watch the way Crystal Issa mounts the beam.
That unique element right there. Great control, though, as she caught. We already mentioned Crystal showcases a lot of difficulty throughout this routine. Starting right off with the kick over front. Nice quick pace. Solid back handspring layout, step out. She can do 2 connected. Not sure if that was a decision made prior or in the moment.
Little duck walk there. Cunningham at a 9-9. We are still tied midway through this final rotation. In the rotation, we're tied. That means Washington leads the team competition by .05.
Dismount. Sticking the landing there. I think I've had 3 or 4 weekends in a row where my heart is pounding, my hands are sweating because I want to see both teams compete well, but it comes down to this final rotation. So fun. Crystal showcasing those unique, difficult elements, but perfect there on the dismount, finishing with that gainer layout full off the side.
Oh my, this is fun, Amanda. These are some of the best athletes in college sports, and they're bringing it today. A 9-9 for Amara Cunningham. And now the appropriately named Maya Washington. 9-9 on bars, 9.925 on beam. Loves to entertain. Really good when she controls her power. NCAA regional champion on floor 2 years ago.
Great landing there on her opening tumbling pass. Nice combination, front layout, front fold. Powerful and dynamic music, her movements, and her tumbling to match today.
Controlling that power indeed.
That's Maya Washington.
Crystal Issa of Utah had a 9.95 on beam. Washington needs a 9.95 to keep pace in this rotation.
Well, this was a great routine. She landed that double pike with her chest completely up.
Talk about coming through in the clutch.
Makes it fun to watch, that's for sure.
A 9.925, which means that Washington is trailing this rotation by 1/4 of a tenth. And it means they lead the competition by the smallest possible margin, 1/4 of a tenth.
It's a lot of math.
And that's, of course, without dropping a score. They get to drop their lowest.
Adrian Randall, 3 straight beam routines of 9.9 or better, including a 9.975 last week at UCLA. Watch for her signature move, the Wolfova. It's a full twisting swing down to a cross straddle sit.
It's about midway through a routine, but nailing the opening tumbling element, that back handspring layout step out.
Here it comes.
One of the best ones I've ever seen her do. She landed dead straight.
That is something else. Very unique. And sticks the blind landing, Adrian Randall.
That's definitely going to be the best score of the rotation. You know, I have seen so many routines just this weekend that I would consider perfect. This one, the execution was great, and then she had the unique element in the middle, and then this dismount opens the arms, and like you said, nailed the blind landing.
42 for 42 in her career, and again, hard to find many deductions with that.
Well, you know what? I was saying at a couple of the last meets that I'd like to go talk to the judges when they find the deductions, and I can't figure it out. So we'll see what they think of that one.
9.925 for Maya Washington. Ebony Roberson had that 10-0 on beam. Her second in her last 2 meets at home. Her floor routine. She has a challenging first pass. Another powerful floor worker for the Huskies. Twice this year at 9.925 on floor. 2 weeks ago against Arizona. Here's that first pass.
Front double full with a front tuck, and she makes it look easy.
Adrian Randall got a 9.95 on beam for Utah. They need a big score from Roberson here. After Ebony, each team has 1 gymnast remaining. Washington leading by just half a tenth leading this last rotation.
Another combination right there, that front 1.5 twist to the layout step out.
Ebony Roberson, you are something else. They're calling for another 10.
You can see in everything she does how much she loves gymnastics, and it shows in her performance. Look at this, straight up on that layout step out. With the step out, there's no deductions on those landings.
She loves to perform. We love to watch. Back-to-back 9.95s for Issa and Randall. And here is Abby Paulson. As you know, she carded a 10 on beam last week in her meet clinching routine at UCLA. Only freshman in the Pac-12 to record a 10 on many apparatuses here. Utah's first 10 on beam since 2008. And during that time, they've had 20 on other apparatuses.
She needs to just do what she does every week. Stay calm and engaged. Side aerial layout, step out, the same series we saw Miley O'Keefe perform. They make it look easy, but it is very difficult.
Ebony Roberson given a 9.875 for her floor routine. A big score for Paulson will make it tough for UW to be able to catch up.
All that's left, the dismount. Side aerial, full twist.
Wow. What great beam sets for these schools. Washington had a 49-6-5. Utah fans calling for another 10 for Abby Paulson.
Well, there has been stunning routines this entire weekend from these Pac-12 teams. It's going to make the championship so exciting, but beautiful skills, artistry, execution, and every single detail packed in that routine.
Still awaiting the score for Abby Paulson before Kristen Hoffa begins her floor routine. They're preparing the numbers now. It is a 10.
Oh, it looks like a 10 from one judge.
From one judge.
And it looks like a 9-9 from the other.
So a 9-9-5, a 10 from one, a 9-9-5 for the other.
See, that's when I want to ask the judges, where did they find that 10? Because I didn't see it.
A 9-9 from one, a 10 from the other. So Kristen Hoffa, who came up so big a month ago against Cal in her floor routine to clinch the meet.
Huge full in to start. Popping right into that lunge position.
Here's a 9-9-5 by Abby Paulson, has clinched this meet for Utah. Hoffa would need more than a 10 for Washington to win. Nonetheless, these gymnasts came through when it mattered.
Well, one thing that's for sure is she has no idea what score she needs. She does know she's fighting for every single 10. Dynamic and powerful, even on those leaps and jumps way up in the air.
And she loves the spotlight of this final routine. She's already graduated, earning her master's in intercollegiate athletic leadership. Kristen Hoffa, another strong routine to finish the meet for the Gym Dogs.
Phenomenal rotation by both of these teams. She opened with that huge full in and then finished the routine with an open double tuck. She barely has to wrap that around. She's so quick and powerful off the floor.
Kristen Hoffa finishing strongly for Washington again. We'll come back to Alaska Airlines Arena in Seattle. Get to the final scores in a moment.
Pac-12 Women's Gymnastics is brought to you by State Farm. Talk to an agent today.
3/4 of a tenth. That's what it came down to. The 49-6 for Utah. What another fantastic beam set they had. Not quite as good last week at UCLA, but plenty good enough. Washington matched their season high on floor, and they have their season high overall, 197.225. But that beam rotation for Utah, just fantastic. Closing it out with 3 straight 9.95s.
Unbelievable. I mentioned earlier they have 2 freshmen, 2 sophomores, and 2 juniors. So they're lowerclassmen really coming through, and a big celebration. Look, they're decorating Tom Farton.
That is the 100th victory of his career as a head coach. And what a fantastic meet to get it.
Did silly string on it.
No respect. In a losing effort, though, for Washington, it's hard to call this a loss. They had their highest score this year, a 197.6. Our State Farm showcase is Ebony Roberson, and another perfect 10 on beam.
Well, their entire beam rotation was unbelievable. They had 4 scores of 9-9 or better, and then she steps up in the anchor position with those aggressive 2 layouts, pausing to show how perfect she was on that landing. She talked herself through this entire routine. She has great skills and a little swagger on this event. And finishes with a high-flying gainer, layout full. It was the second 10 she has earned this year on balance beam.
If I could do that, I might have some swagger myself. Wow, Ebony Roberson, she had a 10 against Arizona 2 weeks ago here at home and follows it up with another one here. And if it weren't for the 9.95s in succession by the final 3 Red Rocks on beam, Utah might have gotten upset by Washington. Could have been another one for UW, and yet it's Utah that gets the job done in the end to improve to 10-0 and 6-0 in the Pac-12. Our senior coordinating producer is Will O'Toole. For producer Michael Shames, director Mark Wolfson, and Amanda Borden, I'm Rich Burke. That's it from Seattle. Pac-12 playlist is next with Ashley Adamson.